So first things first, people never know that I'm a woman, because these days, before you meet people, you've probably had some sort of email correspondence before you have an in-person meeting or before you get on the phone. 95% of the time, people respond to my emails with Mr. O, Mr. Adeyemi. I do not bother to correct them. When I show up to meetings, they ask me, okay, glad you're here. When is Mr. O coming? Mr. O is here. Honestly, I think being a woman in this game is really just, and I use it to my advantage, because a lot of times, especially when it comes time to negotiate, I feel like my counterparties don't see me coming. And so when we put our when we put our terms on the table, it can kind of be like a wham, and there's nothing you want more than to disorient your opponent, even if it's just for 2 seconds during a negotiation. So I welcome it.
Thank you. Falgu, anything to add?
Yeah, I have to say, I get this all the time in my emails. Shah. I'm like, yeah, that. And I also don't correct, because I feel like that truly is an advantage. You build a relationship, especially in times of COVID. I built relationships over Zoom or anonymously, where no one turns their video on, you're just email corresponding. And then the minute they actually see your face, it's like, oh, wow. And I'm also 5 foot, so they're like, oh, how old are you also? But I think it actually, to O's point, it plays to our advantage, and it gives others a chance to like take you seriously when they may not have at initial glance. I think doing business across multiple countries, I've been also a VC investor, actually with Hossam at his previous fund, and a private equity investor, and seen the stakes from both sides. Been on all sides of the table, and I just hope that more women entrepreneurs are like encouraged to step up and have those conversations, because they're hard, and like having people like Dina who are actually investing in those entrepreneurs is so helpful. And so the more representation we can get across the board, no matter what the country or the culture is so valuable. You know, in our business, we're primarily a Nigerian business today, we send our sales reps sometimes to the north of the country, and they are just not taken seriously if they're females. And we have to play to that reality sometimes. We have to say, oh, we have to send a male colleague with you on this trip for your own safety. But like to understand the realities, but as a company, advocate for more women at the table to change perceptions and minds, I think is absolutely important.
Yeah, and to share a perspective, I think